Hello, I'm Mario, and welcome back to my playthrough of Flower. This is part 5. We just got finished with this blue guy here, which was a completely different experience from the other 3. Maybe that's why they're separated a bit. But these 3, were just about being pretty in flowers. The 4th one got a bit dark. We got started off okay with the wind turbines and the cool lights, but then it got dark after it started showing the bits of civilization. So we'll see how this purple flower continues, maybe that story. We'll see. The little snippets beforehand seem to be getting better. Alright. Let's see what's interesting here. Yep. Already starting to see all the dark stuff. The remnants of the large electrical towers. Alright, this one's pretty slow as well. Did I freeze it? That's kind of what it looks like. Ooh. What the heck? Oh no. I got burned. So I gotta be careful then. Ching. Oh. Huh. I got those right. Oh my gosh, I didn't. Wow. Oops. Oh, how the heck did I miss that one? Oh no, that was not far enough. Jeez. On to the next one, I guess. How are they gonna hide flowers here, actually? Let me go look up here. Nope. Ooh. I got a creep Careful. Oh. Uh. Oh, come on. Nope. Oh my god, am I losing leaves? Can I die? How am I supposed to get to those? There you go. I think that was all it. Yep. This one was pretty easy. So yeah, I guess we're dismantling the broken towers, which can hurt you. And we're freezing them? Well. Alright. Well, this is pretty straightforward. Straightforward, but not exactly easy. I don't know if I'll get hurt by touching those too. I'm going to assume that if it's not... Is that black and white? Maybe that's what's going on? It's turning black and white. If it's not black and white, I'm not touching it. There's something way out here. Let's see if... Maybe there's a hidden flower over here. Oh, look at that. Oh. But wait. No, yep, this is the end over here. Is that it? Man, how far up can I go? Oh, about that far. Yep. But yeah, I guess I can continue talking about where I left off. Not the last video, since I wasn't able to say much in the last video since it was so short and captivating at the same time. But yeah. I pretty much played those last games that I was talking about the most. There was Need for Speed High Stakes, Rainbow Six Covert Ops, and Machines. With the little mix of Toy Story and Tigger here and there. Occasionally Army Men. But then my uncle introduced a couple of games that I liked but I couldn't really do properly. That would be Caesar 3. I think I remember talking about that last. And then after that was a game called Sim Coaster. Sim Coaster is known by different names depending on what region you're in. I think in the United States it was called Sim Coaster. I think everywhere else, if I'm not mistaken, it was called Theme Park Incorporated or Theme Park Inc. I'm not sure what the reason behind, having the regional names. And whether I'm not entirely sure if Sim Coaster is in any way related to the Sims games. I don't think it is. But I'm sure they were trying to capitalize on that name. Or at least use it because of the potential familiarity with it, with like Sim City. And, just The Sims. But yeah, no, Sim Coaster was another pretty fun game that I wouldn't really get into until later when I could understand it better. But that would be, again, a little bit further up ahead in the timeline. But yeah, around this time, my family was looking into getting our own proper modern computer. At this point, all the only computers that we had in our home were either my uncle's before he moved out with his family, or computers that people gave us. And the most modern computer that was one that took the large floppy disks, not the small floppy disks, but we're talking like large, very thin. I'm not sure what operating system that was. I think it was MS-DOS. But I do remember there being some kind of GUI, very, very basic one, but so I'm not sure it was. Maybe it was an early version of Windows. But it was definitely green text. It was a green text screen. And that, there's only 2 games that I can remember us having with it, because they give it to us with some software, most of which we had no idea how to use. But the 2 ones that we were able to get working was one game where it was just like a all right, did I do that? Anyway, so one of the games that we could get working was like I wouldn't even know what to call it. It was obviously a 2-dimensional, like, puzzle / exploring game. I remember you were like a little man, and you started the level, and you had to get to the other side of the level, wherever the end was placed, and you would have obstacles like big red spiders. So the game was in green and red, if I remember correctly. Ooh. Man. Alright, so I think I know where we have to go. So we took that down, we have to take that one down now. Alright, yeah. But anyway, yeah, it was a very simple game. The other game that we were able to get working on it, barely, kind of. I'm not entirely sure what it really was. I don't even remember. I think it was like a puzzle tile game once you got past the trivia part of it. So the way that it started, the game was supposed to come with like an encyclopedia or a fact check or something like that. But the game would start up and then it would ask you a question. And then you had, I think, multiple choice. Or you had to type it in. I don't remember. But the game was... I remember the game being kind of a pain to get started because it was so slow, I'm assuming. It took forever to get to the point where it asked us the trivia question. But the big problem was that we didn't have whatever book it wanted us to look into to find the information. So we could never really figure out what the answers to the questions were. So yeah, I think you had to type it in. It wasn't like a multiple choice question. But obviously if you didn't answer it correctly, the game would just kind of not move forward. You would have to like restart the computer and then try again, basically. So eventually we did manage to find or figure out the answer to one of them. And if we wanted to play the game, we had to basically wait until that question would come up to be able to play it. And I don't even remember exactly what it did after that. I just remember struggling with getting past that point. And yeah, that was the last computer that I can remember us having before we got a proper new computer. Down with electricity. No, wait, no. I can't play this game without electricity. What do you want from me? So I feel like there should be something secret around here. They put those little dew points on purpose so that I couldn't single out flowers that I'm missing. So they all almost look like flowers from far away. Alright. I hope it, I don't want to jinx myself here now. I hope if I don't fly too high up, I get struck by lightning. Oh, look, there's something back there. Oh, what was that? That was not pleasant. This is it. I can't go further. Why is this up here? Why put something interesting if there's nothing here? Did I miss one? No. Oh. How? How am I triggering that? I am confusion. Can I take down the other ones? That'd be cool. I mean, there's no flowers underneath it. I'm not physically pushing them, am I? I don't think so. Nope. Nope. So eventually, I guess we can move on at this point. There are a couple of games that I had very limited access to that really left impressions on me when I was a kid. Chiefly among them, Spyro. So the only time that I was ever able to play Spyro was whenever we would visit an aunt who lived out of town. And her husband had a PS1. And whenever we would visit, you know, he would invite me to play, which was very kind of him. He would turn the PS1 on and give me the controller and be like, "There you go, bud." I was like, "What? Seriously?" Anyway, he had 2 or 3 games on the. I don't remember what the third game was, but I know one of them was Spyro and the other one was like a Destruction Derby game. I think I played it once, maybe twice, like for like 20-30 minutes at most, because, you know, having Spyro there, you know, I didn't want to play anything else if I was going to play something there. But yeah, he would let me play it, and, you know, whenever we would visit there, I would get typically, I want to say about an hour with the game at most. So total, within all the visits that we had with my aunt, you know, I played the game a total of like maybe 4 or 5 hours, and I didn't end up actually properly getting to play the Spyro games until much later when I had the PS3, and I bought them for the PS1 Classics on the PlayStation Store. Now, not until then was I finally able to play them all, and, you know, even just beat the first one. But, you know, I've done all of them now, and they are very fun and enjoyable games. Uh-oh. In the near future, you know, I would fall in love with Ratchet and Clank games. Oof, oof. No, I'm not touching. The Ratchet and Clank games became my favorite games outside of machines, of course. And that wouldn't be. Oh, come on. That wouldn't ever. That would not be beaten until Okami came out. So the Ratchet and Clank games were basically my favorite games up until Okami. Not counting Machine. Machine was always at the top for me. But Okami competes with that, if that makes sense. But anyway, I fell in love with the Ratchet and Clank games, not knowing that it was the same people who made Spyro. And again, I didn't get to experience Spyro properly until well after having started and finished a bunch of the Ratchet and Clank games up until that date. Ooh, there's something up there? Wow! Oh, look! Hey, we got 3. This has been probably the longest level so far. Nope, I got those. Man, I am a little confused as to where I'm supposed to go, though. So I'm just kind of like looking for any flowers that I can bloom. Oh, there's another one. There's another one. Oh, I think this is the right way. Oh, come on. I was not touching that. But yeah, I think we're nearing the end here. So in some way, the electricity is bad. But I'm going to assume that's a metaphor for like everything that's not nature, basically. I think that's the end. Oh no, those are just bright pink flowers. Oh no. I have to move faster. It wasn't letting me move faster. Aw, oh, come on. I'm gonna miss a bunch here because of this. Oh, come on. Shit. Oh. What? I didn't even make it to the pink. Hey, yo, how was that done? Well, that was an abrupt ending. I almost kind of want to go back just to make sure that that wasn't the actual ending. I mean, I must have. I got the next flower. A little tiny pink one. But anyway, I guess that concludes our episode. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.